Welcome back to the Disney Magical Mindset Podcast. My name is Ruben, your Disney Magic mentor, and I'm here to help you unlock the magic within, pursue your dreams, and become the hero of your own story. I'm so glad you're here. Today's episode is a special one because this week we celebrate May the 4th. It's coming up, Star Wars Day. If you're a Star Wars fan like me, you know there's something powerful about the lessons tucked inside those movies. Lessons about believing, training, facing fear, and unlocking the hero inside of you. And today, we're going to dive into one of the most iconic Star Wars moments ever and pull out a magical life lesson I promise will make a difference in your life, and you can start using it today. It's a lesson that can change how you approach your goals, your dreams, and even your everyday decisions. Are you ready? Because here we go. Let's unlock some Star Wars magic. There are so many powerful scenes from the different Star Wars films. In fact, I can ask you, what is your favorite? And I'm sure each one of you would have a different scene from a different episode that just spoke to you. And actually, we probably would need an entire podcast to just count down, our top moments from Star Wars. But if I were to narrow it down, maybe this might land in your top 3. And again, this is not the purpose of today's podcast because, man, we could stay here forever and people would probably agree or disagree with the best Star Wars scene. But for me, and what we're trying to pull out today, which I think is so powerful, and I think this will be such a game changer for you and for me, it is in The Empire Strikes Back. And I believe this is one of the most powerful scenes in the entire Star Wars universe, galaxy, the franchise. It's this right here. Luke Skywalker is training with Master Yoda, the master of all masters, right? On the swampy planet of Dagobah. Luke is young, impatient, easily frustrated. You pick that up when you see him in this episode, in this scene, in this movie. And honestly, a lot like all of us, right? When we're trying to grow into something greater, there's that feeling of being impatient or being frustrated. I know I feel that way. When you want to grow, when you want that thing, when you see it, when you're hungry for it, and you just have these feelings of impatience and frustration. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. At one point, Luke struggles to use the Force to lift his X-Wing fighter out of the swamp. He's just ready, and maybe a bit too early. He's impatient. He wants to leave, right, and go help his friends. And like so many of us facing something big, he says, "All right, I'll give it a try. All right, I'll give it a try." And Yoda, wise, slightly grumpy Yoda, he cuts him off with these famous words that still ring true today, that still have an impact to this day. And here's what he said: "No, try not. Do or do not. There is no try." I hope you like my attempt at Yoda's voice. No, try not. Do or do not. There is no try. I know you've probably heard this line quoted a lot, but I want to slow it down. Come on, slow it down with me. Slow it down. And really think about what Yoda is teaching here. It's not about trying. It's about training. I cannot overemphasize this for you, for me, for those goals, those dreams, those things that we want to achieve, right? The becoming greater, becoming better. Yeah, this is what it's all about right here. In fact, this might be the most important thing that you will hear in these podcast episodes. I want you to continue to listen because there's so much magical mindset that I want to share with you. But this right here, this is the game changer. This is what's going to change you from a Padawan to a Jedi right here. It's not about trying. It's about training. And you might say to yourself, well, wait a minute. Isn't it okay to say, hey, at least I gave it a try, or to teach our kids, just try it new something, try something as long as you're trying. And I want you to know there's not necessarily anything wrong with saying that. I mean, yes, we want our kids to try new things, but what if we began to shift that perspective and thinking and start teaching our kids and ourselves to just reframe it? Instead of trying, talk about training, instilling that training in them, that mindset of training, because this is what it's going to take to accomplish those goals and those dreams. So yes, try, but we have to go from trying to training, because this is what Yoda is talking about. This is what it's all about. Trying means you're going to give it little effort when it feels right. I'll try it if I can, and maybe if I can try, then at least I'll give it whatever I can. But training means you are committing, preparing, intentionally building yourself up for when the big moment comes. And this is why so many people aren't ready for the big moment, because they don't incorporate a life of training. They just want to simply try. And this is the difference right here. It's all about training. To try is to attempt to do the right thing by exerting effort in the moment. But to train, which is what we've been talking about, is to commit to developing strategic habits that equip you to do the right thing in the moment. Why do you think Luke could not use the Force to lift the X-Wing? Because he wasn't properly training. He wasn't completing his training. He wasn't ready. He was just trying. And Yoda picks up on that real quick. And he's like, hey, you cannot simply try your way to the Force. You've got to train for it. And most people don't want to train, because training puts you in another level. Training is the stuff that many people don't want to commit to, because it's discipline, it's commitment, it's those, blood, that sweat, that tears. It's giving it everything you've got. It's going the extra mile. It's using the language. If we're going to bring Walt Disney into this, it's that plussing the experience, going the extra mile, giving it everything you got. Training is what makes the difference. That's the Jedi magic right here. It's about training, not simply trying. Woo! All right. How you feeling? You still there with me? Listen, if you want to accomplish your dreams, your goals, your ambitions, that thing that's tugging at your heart, you're meant for it. You don't achieve them by simply trying harder when you feel inspired. You accomplish them by training when no one's watching. That's the key. And I know this is the key because I've been there. I've done that. Where you simply try. And guess what happens when you try? You never feel good enough because trying will only get you so far before you end up giving up, or you feel like, you didn't really accomplish anything. And trying will not get you to that place. No one ever won a championship trying. No one wins the Super Bowl by simply trying. Nobody gets a better marriage by trying to have a better marriage. Nobody becomes a better person or somebody that, brings value and grows by simply trying. It is all about training. Even those who are strong with the Force, right? Like who get called to be an apprentice and become a Jedi, they've got to start as Padawans, right? There's a training. They don't simply get to that place where they become these master Jedis by just trying or hoping or wishing. It is a training process. And this training, I'm telling you, this is the Jedi way. Like, this is the magic. It all comes down to this. It's exactly what Yoda said. I think Master Yoda knows what he's talking about. You want to know the truth? Here's a powerful truth. The direction of your life is determined by the quality of your daily decisions. Those daily decisions are going to make a difference for your present and your future. Like the thing that you want, the goals that you desire to accomplish, the dreams that you want to make come true. It's going to all come down to those daily decisions, because every single choice you make is a vote toward the person you are becoming. When you make a decision, right? Every day, any decision that you're making, especially as it pertains to those goals and dreams that you desire so much, you are voting toward the person you are becoming. So who are you voting for? What are you voting for your life? Would you vote for yourself? Every time you show up and train, even in the small moments, my friends, you are stacking those votes in favor of your future self. And that's what it's all about. And guess what? Every time you give in to distractions, delays, or discouragement, or spending all this time on your phone, just scrolling, doom scrolling, and wasting that time. We talked about that in a previous episode about the way that social media just consumes us. I'm here to tell you, every time we give in to those distractions, you know what you're doing? You're voting against your dreams. And that's where we have to shift. That's the mindset shift we got to make. That's the magical Jedi mindset right now. So let's talk about distractions for just a second, because they're one of the biggest enemies of our training. That's the dark side right there. That's Vader, right? That's Darth Maul, our distractions. I want you to start thinking of them like that, because one of the most important steps you can take today, here's what we can do today. You and me, we're going to do this. One of the most important things is to put your distractions to death before your distractions crush your dreams to death. Woohoo! My goodness. When it comes to distractions, you have to treat every moment as critical, because it is. Because remember, those distractions are often the things that are keeping you from voting against your dreams. That time you lose scrolling, it actually matters. That focus you lose when you check out mentally, it matters. That energy you waste chasing what's easy instead of what's meaningful, it matters. Or wasting time on things that don't help you improve, that don't get you to where you're trying to go. I want to give you a simple tool today. Just 3 questions that you can ask yourself the moment a distraction shows up, the moment Darth Maul or Vader shows up. We're gonna think of distractions now, just like that. Darth Vader, Darth Maul. The moment they show up, I want you to think of 3 things. You might want to write this down. Number 1, what is the best use of my time right now when those distractions show up? Number 1, what is the best use of my time right now? Number 2, what am I missing out on when I lose this time? Because I guarantee you're missing out on something when you are giving in to those deathly distractions. And number 3, what if this time spent well could lead to my next critical breakthrough? And that's what we have to envision. You never know. You just never know that the time you spend on the goal, the ambition, the dream, you just never know how that may lead to your biggest breakthrough. I'll be honest, I've lived both sides of this. There were seasons where I thought I was moving towards my dreams because I was trying. I was reading a little here, working a little there, and maybe, putting some things down and getting inspired. But here's where I ran into some challenges, is that I was not committing to the training, to doing the everyday, those disciplines, those things that I knew that I needed to do, but I wasn't doing it because I was simply just trying. And trying doesn't get me closer to my goal. But I tell you what does. I know it. It's training. And I've seen it in my life. I've seen things happening and doing things and accomplishing these goals that I'm like, wow, listen, if you just commit to training, you get closer and closer. And guess what happens when you commit to training? You get more excited, right? You get inspired. You start seeing things. You start seeing evidence of the training manifesting in your life. And you're like, woo, well, if this is happening at this place and stage of my life, what happens when I commit to this kind of training? That's what I'm talking about right here. It's easy to stay stuck without training. But if you commit to that real, I'm talking about the daily commitment, those small habits, those focused blocks of time, shutting down distractions. Remember, shutting down Darth Vader. And guess what happens? You start to build real momentum, and that's when the breakthroughs come. Listen, let's be clear. Training isn't flashy. You may think like it is, right? Especially when you watch Star Wars, it's like, ooh, they're training, but it's not necessarily always fun. Training happens in those quiet moments. It happens when no one is clapping. It happens when you're tired, but you show up anyway. It's not the highlight reels that we see on social media. That's not the training. It's all the things that we do behind the scenes to put things together. Like, that's the training. And just like Luke learning to use the Force, it's not about flashy success. It's about the daily grind, that daily commitment to becoming stronger, wiser, more focused, and more ready for the battles ahead. And I know this about you. You have all the potential in the world to be an amazing Jedi, because I've just given it to you, because I believe in you, number one, but because we are going to commit from this day forward to a life of training and start shifting the focus from simply trying to training. That's the Jedi mind trick. And that's the Jedi right way right here. It's all about training. So as we come to the end of this Star Wars themed podcast, I want to give you some actionable steps that you can take this week. Think of one dream or a goal that you have, maybe one that you started the year with, this ambition that's just speaking to you, that you want to accomplish. And instead of trying harder, create a simple training plan. You ready? Listen, it doesn't have to be complicated. 10 minutes a day practicing. Start with 10 minutes. Just commit to 10 minutes a day. And then you start seeing that 10 minutes will grow to 20, and you start seeing that growth because of your daily commitment, your consistency. Maybe it's 30 minutes a day where you're learning something new that's going to help you, accomplish that goal. Or perhaps it's one focused hour without distractions. Put that phone in the other room. Remember, parent your phone and give yourself 1 hour to work on that goal, that dream of yours. Whatever it is, commit to it. Make it part of your daily training, because you're a Jedi now. Come on now. And remember, training beats trying every time. Every choice you make is a vote toward the hero you are becoming. Every time you show up, even in the smallest way, you are unlocking the Force inside you. You are powerful. You are capable. And the next breakthrough you're looking for, it's hiding inside your next training session, not inside your next try. So may the Force be with you this week, and may your mindset stay magical. Thank you so much for hanging with me on this week's Magical Mindset podcast. If this magical lesson from Star Wars has been helpful to you, it would mean so much if you would share this with a fellow Star Wars fan, someone who loves Disney. Let's get this magical message out there. Please, if you haven't done so yet, will you take some time? It won't take long for you to leave an awesome magical review. This would be so amazing, and it would help to continue to get this magical love, this magical message, right? This Disney magic out there. Keep dreaming, keep believing, and remember, you are the magic, because the magic, the Force, is in you.